any person who kill human being for whatever you want, okay, then you are just, there's no heaven. Heaven, that's what I'm saying. In every religion or practices, there are good people and there are bad people. Corruption have eaten into the fabric of this economy because these people swear by the Bible and the Quran. Once they swear by these gods, they dare not take away even one city that belongs to this country. So that's how come we use animals, okay? It is not for the enjoyment of it.
Welcome to the Voice of African Spirituality. Today we are going to discuss about religious politics against traditional or African traditional practices. I have with me here Naba Abimnia Ayala Zuno. He's an African traditional practitioner and then the Nkoso Hine for Mirigu traditional area. Here we give platform to all religious bodies to express their faith and beliefs. I am Lassa Dorothy. Naba, you're welcome.
Thank you.
The other time we had an insightful interview with you where we learned a lot of things. Our viewers want to know more. There's this perception that other religious bodies, the Christians, Islam, and other religious bodies have that the African traditionalists do not acknowledge God. Is that true?
Okay. Thank you for your question. I want to state emphatically that God is not a monopoly of a particular religion. And for that matter, God is not a respecter of a particular religion, or God does not belong to a particular religion. God is a universal God. And so for a certain religious body or bodies seeks to maybe monopolize God is very bad, to say the least. And for that matter, African traditional practitioners do acknowledge the supremacy of God, the force of creation. African traditional practitioners do acknowledge the supremacy of God. So we believe, not that we even believe, but we trust and know that God exists. And God is the only supreme force above all other forces on this earth. Thank you.
Okay, but then there's this belief by other religions that you do not worship God. You said you believe in God, but you do not worship God, but you worship idols and your ancestors.
Okay. So it's a perception that they hold. They have not drawn closer to the African traditional practitioners to find out what our practices are. To say that we are worshiping idols in itself is a fallacy, because an idol, in my understanding, okay, is anything that you put, okay, or you put your trust and belief in that item or whatever the idol is. And you think that in the absence of that idol, okay, there's no other God, okay? Or let me put it this way. You have something that you call it idol. You believe that this idol that you have, there's no God except this thing that you worship. So anybody who has something, okay, that you are worshiping, that you venerate, that you honor that thing to the extent that you do not believe that God exists, this is your God, then that thing becomes an idol. So in the African traditional practices, ours is not like that. We accept the supremacy, the Almighty. We accept the omnipotence, the omniscience, and the omnipresence of God, okay, as the force behind creation and the force behind existence. We do establish this fact. Before we now use God creation, okay, that we understand that God gave us those creation for us to use to worship him through those creation. Okay, so we honor those gods, okay, in the belief that they will carry our message, request, or whatever to God and bring God's reply to us, okay. And so we don't say that the spirit or the deities that we worship, they are God. This perception must be clarified, okay, that we do not in any way say that the gods that we worship in the first place are God, okay, or they are powerful and and there's no other God that is supreme than them. We believe, we trust and know that they were created by the supreme God, okay, and these gods that we worship, they are part of the Almighty Supreme God administration, okay. So if I say the Almighty Supreme God administration, what I'm trying to say is that God has activities, okay, that must be executed, okay, spiritual and earthly, or spiritual and physical activities. So these two activities, which human being must conduct, the gods that we worship, okay, that we serve as an intermediary between us and God, okay. So they are not the supreme God, as people think that we see those spirits or deities or God as the supreme. We don't.
So you worship God, but then that you don't use idol. You don't use idol, or
Well, what I was trying to explain is that in our worship, okay, we in the first place, we acknowledge the supremacy. We acknowledge the omnipotent and the omnipresence. We acknowledge that there is an almighty force, okay, that is above all other forces. This, we must establish that the African traditional practitioner acknowledges this, okay. Now, when you say an idol, those who worship idols are the people who say that this thing lying here, okay, is my God, and there's no other God anywhere that is more powerful than this thing that I'm worshiping.
but do you know there are people like that? There are other traditional people that worship, that have that kind of idol there that they worship. Now you are trying to justify the fact that that thing you worship,
Okay.
you it serves as an intermediary between
Yes.
God
Yes.
and then you.
Yes.
So it's not like you worship it, but you use it as a medium
Yes.
to.
Yes. Yeah, so what I'm saying is within the purview, or what I'm saying is within the traditional environment of the African practitioner. Okay. So that's why I'm saying that any other person who has a belief in something, and then that person takes that thing as God, the supreme God and there's no other supreme God, then you are not a traditional practitioner.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Those of us who are traditional practitioners acknowledges the supreme existence of a force that created the spirits and deities that you worship, that created me, that created nature. Okay? So in the administration, we know that there is an administration of the Almighty God. And in the administration of the Almighty God, God has created certain structures. And in each structure, there is some forces or spirit, human beings, okay, that are there to conduct physical activities and spiritual activities. So between the human being and God, these spirit deities, whichever way you call them, are intermediaries. Are you getting it? That the human being, okay, the African traditional practitioner uses to communicate, okay, to God. Do you understand?
Yes.
So let me even come to this physical existence. Even so, you can see that reflection in our traditional chieftaincy practice. If you go to visit a chief, okay, you do not talk to the chief directly. There is a linguist that you, the one who want to communicate to the chief, will have to pass your message to the linguist. And the linguist will now relay your information or message to the chief. And the chief too will in turn do same. You do not have the qualification to talk to the chief directly, even as human beings. Okay, so to speak to the president of Ghana or get to the president of Ghana, you cannot just get up and then just walk to the president of Ghana and begin to talk. You have to pass through certain intermediaries and structures before you can get to the president of
But
Ghana.
then, let me say...
So that is the structure that the African traditional practitioner, okay, does. So people think that because you are communicating through the intermediary, okay, to God, it means that you don't trust and know that there is God.
Do you know
But
the
we do.
media? The media. So I don't know. What you're saying really says, or it shows that the media is portraying something differently to us, because we watch movies. Let me say Akan movies or Nigerian movies. There are some people that go to the shrine. Those people at the shrine are African traditional practitioners, right? They'll go to the shrine. Or when something happens in the town where they worship shrines, they have this priest in the town, and then something happens, or maybe a Christian comes to the town, want to preach, they will just say, who is your God? There's no other God than the one we are worshiping now. Is it?
Yeah, what you watch on the telly, the movies, they are sponsored. They are deliberate movies that are acted to bastardize the African traditional practices. All that happens in the movie do not capture, okay, the purity of Africa traditional
But
practices.
what we know is that what happens in the movie is something that happens.
No,
Sometimes,
it's not
most
true.
times,
That's what I'm saying. That
most times these are things that happen in
what
reality.
you see in the movie, mostly what you see in the movie mostly are not realities. Mostly.
But most of them too are realities.
Yes, but that's what I'm saying, that for me, when I watch and they are acting, always they try to make the African tradition bad, okay? And it saddens me that we ourselves, okay, can come out with movies that bastardize our own traditional culture and practices. So at the last end, the movie is acted in a manner that the African traditional gods will end up being evil and
the
bad,
loser.
which is not the truth. Okay, it's not the truth, but it is just a deliberate steps and efforts that is part of the politics. That's why what we are discussing today is the religious politics against the African traditional practices. I see movie, okay, and the media as the medium through which these religious bodies, okay, use to bastardize and kill African traditional.
Are you saying that the
religion.
directors behind these movies are Christians, are Muslims,
Which-
or other religious bodies, that they are not some that are traditionalists?
Whichever religion they belong, okay, the films that they act do not portray the positivity, okay, of African traditional culture. Because if your message is always portray the African traditional culture and practice as evil, what are you doing to that particular practices? You are trying to deliberately condemn it and kill it. So you always see an encounter between a pastor and that of the traditional priest.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, the pastor wins. Meanwhile, in our traditional or physical life, you don't see any pastor and priest fighting over anything. Are you getting me?
Okay.
It doesn't even happen, you see. So in every religion or practices, there are good people and there are bad people. It cannot always be the case that in your moving play, okay, the African traditional priest, okay, is the bad person. In fact, the real African traditional priest is being ordained, okay, to protect the community. Is the voice, he is the voice of the gods, and is the eyes of the eye of the God. And before you become a priest, you cannot, you won't be given that role if you are not pure. Okay, so African traditional priests are not evil. Okay, they have a role to play in the community they find themselves. So what you see in the films are all the politics, the religious politics that are being crafted by the other religious people to kill the African traditional practices. It's not true that what you see there. It's not true.
Okay, so there's also this belief by other religions that the African traditional practices are just superstition.
Okay. So because you cut in, you were asking that our African traditional people worship their ancestors.
Yes.
So the issue is that when what they always say, okay, if you throw it back to them, they can't answer. Because even my forefathers, that the Bible and Christianity was brought to Africa or introduced to Africa. In the Bible, all the people that are being exalted, okay, as being pious, or people who head and walk with God, okay, where are they? Those people are equally, they are dead and gone.
So the ancestors.
Yes. So what are you worshiping today? If you are talking of Andrews, you are talking of John, you are talking of Matthew,
Jesus.
you are talking of Jesus, you are talking of Bartholomew, and the 12 disciples, okay, where are they? They are all dead and gone. Yet today, we exalt them, and then we want to always practice and adhere to most of the things that they preach and left Christians with. Are you getting it? So if, as I sit here, my great grandfather is Azambla. From Azambla, you come to Achiri, to Adola, to Apanti Anabenu, to Abiblia Sala Wundina, to Abim, who is now my grandfather. And my grandfather's son is my father. Today, if my father is no more and I'm alive, if the tree that I'm giving you, who do I represent? I represent the first great ancestor, okay, who is the head of the family tree. Now you are telling me that I should not honor that person because that person is evil. Are you getting it? But I should exalt Matthew, John, Samuel, and Jesus, Abraham, and others. I should rather live who I am, because today, as I sit here, I represent my first great ancestor. Because through his blood that ran, okay, to my all the way to my father and me. So if today in my family there's no other man, I'm the only person sitting here, and you go through the genealogy, or how will you, the genealogy, okay, of my ancestors or my family, I will be the same ancestor that started the family. I get it.
But then if you believe in God, you should believe that there was Jesus, right?
So my ancestor, okay, I honor my ancestor for having, okay, for having worked, for having gone through certain difficulties, okay, to acquire for himself and for posterity, which I am now the posterity, some lands, some certain things that he achieved for for his great grandchildren yet to come. And if today I am living, okay, partly on the victories and the successes that my ancestors had for me, why do you think that these people, we shouldn't honor them for having been there? Can we say that the people who had, the Ghanaians, the Kwame Nkrumah and his brothers, okay, who fought and achieved independence from Ghana, we should treat them as with disrespect? We should say that they are evil, okay? The Okonfo-Adjei, who fought and then helped achieve victories for the Ashantis, okay, or the Akans, they shouldn't venerate or respect Okonfo-Adjei, because somebody said he's evil, okay? So we shouldn't pay homage and respect to that person. I get in what I'm saying.
Can I come in?
Come in.
Do you believe in the Bible?
Well, as an African traditional practitioner, I accept all other religion, okay? I accept it for the purpose of cohesion, unity, okay? It is good that you do not condemn another person's belief or religion, okay? So for the period gone or the years past, African traditional practitioners do not openly, okay, insult my Christian brothers and sisters, okay, or my Islamic brothers and sisters, the hierarchies. We don't insult them, okay? We rather accommodate them. We give them places to build their churches, their temples, their mosques, okay, so that we can worship, okay, and serve the God that they believe in, the one God that we all trust, okay, in him. If that is the case, why will I say that because I'm using a different intermediary, okay, to worship my God, and somebody is also using a different intermediary to worship his or her God,
That's the Bible.
I should have problem with it. It's just that I accept it, okay, but I will not be a practitioner, okay, of the Christian faith or the Islamic faith, because my ancestor, okay, or ancestors also left certain what do I say, practices that I should use to worship God, and I'm with that, and not what is in the Bible.
Have you heard of this song? Yenananum, 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 sumabosum, nayende, 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 yebesum, Yehovah.
Yeah. So it's one of the deliberate crafted songs, okay, that seeks to disabuse the minds of Africans, or let's say Ghanaians, okay, about their culture, their tradition, and then their ancestors, and then the gods of their ancestors. To say that our ancestors worship idols is a fallacy. And this thing, I want to really, really emphasize on it, that we don't worship idols. And I must say that an idol is anything that you are trusting in, believing in. And you say that apart from this thing, there is no God. Are you getting it? But the African traditional practitioner believe, or by extension, know and trust that there is God. So to give you evidence, okay, we have names like Onyankopon, Nyame, Kro, Pon. Pon is something that is bigger than any other thing. Then, yes. Yeah. So for my ancestor, before the arrival of Christianity and Islam, already exalt God as Onyankopon. Okay, to tell you that the person believe and trust and know there is a supreme being that is greater than any other forces that they have. And before they pray, okay, they will lift the drink or whatever item they want to pray, okay, they will expose it to God first, okay, before they will now pray to those their gods. So in my village, if I'm goodbye my father, that I'm going somewhere, okay, there's no way my father will say my ancestors. He will say the God, the Almighty God, and my ancestors. Okay? If you goodbye an elderly person who is a traditional practitioner, that maybe you will meet each other tomorrow morning, okay? That person will say, Nyame maye adechepa. Okay? So there are so many, even this Edinkra and the symbols that they use. Okay, all these symbols, if you ask them, they are things that they use to acknowledge the supremacy of God. Are you understanding it? So let's establish the fact that before Christianity and Islam and any other tradition, any other religious body came, our ancestors and the traditional practitioner trust and know that there is God. Their lives, culture, and traditional practice acknowledge the supremacy of God. We must establish this fact.
It means
first.
this song
It's
from
wrong.
Ghana goes to there's this
It's
song.
a religious politics.
One of the Ghanaian national anthem. Yen ara yasasini eya board dende mayen moja nananom hwegu nyade to ho mayen.
Yes.
It goes for you, right?
Yeah. Because this, but I don't even, how do you come to the platform of understanding that people who sacrifice their lives, okay, to make you who you are, to give you what you are enjoying today, you describe those people as evil. Okay, now, but the one who introduced Christianity says that there was a man called Paul.
Okay.
Paul, which you don't know, the person is pure, and your ancestor is evil. So you have Saint Paul, Saint Teresa's. Okay, so they have decided to use the adjectives
And the saint
certain
means pure.
to associate these people who are dead and gone. I don't know, God knows how many years now.
Why don't you ask saint to your idol?
I do. For me,
your
every
God.
African traditional person who honor the ancestor, their ancestors, already see them as great people. So I have appellations that if I want to pour libation to my ancestor, I say those appellations, okay, to honor him, because he fought, and then went through a lot of difficulties to even secure a land that I owe in my village today. Okay, difficulties. Okay, to give me a land to farm today. Okay, to give me any other status that I have in my village.
Maybe it's because the African traditional practitioners do not have a book that also acknowledges people that have come to help either the country or the people as a saint, or adding saints to their names. Maybe they didn't, because the Christians have Bible.
Yes.
They wrote it in the Bible.
Yes.
So if you have books that also acknowledges something like that, we can also accept it.
Yeah, it's something that actually didn't happen.
Yeah.
And that is one of the threat, okay, that is facing African traditional practices, because we have not been able to collate, okay, but the African traditional religion, we pass on our practices or religion by way of practicing, okay, to our children. Okay, so if I'm going to pray to my ancestor or the gods, my children will be present. Okay, so whatever I'm saying, they will learn. Okay, and then acquire
Or
the knowledge.
Is it because you have different practices? Because the African traditional practitioners have, when you go to every community, they have differences. It could be the same, but there are differences in the way they worship.
The differences is in the tradition and culture. But for the deities and our ancestors, we worship, okay, our ancestors and then our deities or the spirit, okay.
Just like when the Christians, when we have some churches that say
a
woman is not supposed to preach, a woman is not supposed to.
But even in the Christianity, or even in Islam, they also have different sects. So we have the Presbyterian, the Methodists, and
SDAs.
it's just the same thing. But at the end of the day,
it's one
it's the
God
same
that
thing
they are
that we do.
worshiping.
Okay.
So I asked earlier on, the other religions or other people believe that the African traditional practices are superstitional.
No, they are not. These are forces that are real. They are very, very real, and they exist. Okay, it's not as if they are not in existence. They are very rare. They are there. If you want to know that they are real African traditional practice,
They should come and test.
we know. Okay, we deal with nature. Okay, so because we deal with nature, we know that these gods are very, very real.
Okay.
They are very real.
So they should come and test if they want to. Or
Well,
what?
not they should come and test, because there's beauty in diversity. Whatever they have that they believe or trust, that those what they have, okay, or what they believe in, like they believe in the existence of Jesus, okay. So if they believe that Jesus is powerful, okay, to them, they should stay there. But we too, we believe in what God created, the forces that God created. Okay.
So other religions, especially Christians, believe that they are too powerful that they can use Jesus or a medium to destroy the African traditional gods.
It's another.
There's
politics.
a pastor in Ghana who does that.
No, it's you see, Christianity, unfortunately, have become more of a commercial activity than what they are supposed to do originally. Nowadays, especially in Africa, we have pastors who fight the African traditional practices directly. So for a pastor to say that I have prayed, and then the gods of a particular community have run away, or even has gone into extinction, or is no more in existence, it's a fallacy on its own. Okay, because they do not understand the existence, okay, of our gods. So if today I'm in Kumasi here, and maybe I have an altar that I do my prayers, then in my absence, my children say, oh, they are now Christians, and then my father used to have this, and so come and destroy it. Then you go there and pray, and then throw the pot away. Is you yourself know that the person have knowledge that altar, okay, the God and the gods, or the gods that I serve, do not inhibit in that altar that has been there years. Okay, because the gods also have their abode. Okay, an altar is a place that when you want to pray to your gods or ancestors, you use that as a medium and call, okay, for the gods to kind of come and then
So there are no spirits inside there.
come and accept the prayers. So it's just like you go to church, they have an altar. It's only the pastor who stand before the altar and pray. Doesn't mean that God has been boxed in that altar. God is bigger. The spirit that I worship is bigger to be boxed in that altar. But it is an accumulation of items, spiritual items, that forms an altar to enable you invoke that spirit to come and then accept your prayers. Are you getting it? Is after that spirit goes
gone
back to wherever it is. So if my guardian angel, as I sit here, is maybe Ayatwa, okay, in my village, or an Usa in my village, and I built a pot, and then later on I am out of this world, then my children say, oh, the pastor should come and destroy that pot. Ausa and Ayatwa is not there. They are somewhere. Okay, if you want, go there. But this one is nothing.
So
So
you
what
mean
they
that
go around breaking and praying and then say that
there's nothing inside?
there's nothing inside. There's nothing inside.
The spirits are already gone.
They are somewhere. They are somewhere. You only invoke them through that medium and they accept the prayers. They go back. Or let's say somebody has come to, maybe has gone to seek for help somewhere, and then the person had whatever request he or she asked for. Then you don't go back to pay. Okay? Then something happens to you. The pastor says, because you went to that place, that's why this thing happened to you. It's a lie. Okay? It's a lie. It's not as if when they go there and you get what you want and you don't pay, something bad will happen to you. It's always not the case that something bad will happen to you. So what they always pray to say that they have burned the spirit, they themselves know that you can never kill a spirit. Never.
Never.
Never. You can't kill a spirit.
Okay.
Can
So
never kill a spirit.
let me ask this: other religions or people believe that the African traditional practices are outdated, they are primitive, they are stagnant.
It's not a case. You know, the world itself evolves. Okay? So African traditional practices has also evolved alongside the world. Okay? So as I sit here, I am an African traditional practitioner. You cannot say, as I sit here, I am not modern. Okay? I'm modern.
Yeah.
So my practices to those that I have to change to bring modernity to the practice, I've done. I have done that.
Okay.
And we also now have herbal clinics. Okay, we have spiritual centers that we give clean and acceptable practices
Like
to those people.
Star Health Clinic is a herbal clinic and they have a traditional side.
Yeah.
So it means that they are coming out of their traditionalists are coming out of their
yes, we have evolved. African traditional practices and culture, those that were primitive and are not of relevance today, are not practiced anymore. So we do accept that. I am not saying this, saying that we don't have other gray areas. We do. Okay, so but I've worked on them and we've evolved in the modern environment. So to say that we are stagnant or we are still in the primitive days, I don't think there's nobody in this modern Ghana who is still practicing 1901 things, okay, issues. I mean, the way things are done. So culture has actually evolved, and African traditional practices too has evolved alongside modernity.
Other religions believe that you will not go to heaven. They think you are evil. You will not go to heaven. Do you think? Do you believe in heaven? And then, do you think you also go to heaven?
You see, this question is it's one of the politics that Christians use to persuade African traditional practitioners to leave what they do and join them. You see, other religions, what they do is to put a guilt trip, okay, in your mind and say that do not look for successes or success in this world, okay? But if you die and you go to heaven, okay, you go there and enjoy. Meanwhile, the the white man who brought Islam and then Christianity is building a very robust economy, is building high-rising buildings, and is always coming out with more modern vehicles, cars, and things that make their life comfortable. And we, the Africans, believe that the one who will go to heaven to enjoy whatever is promised in heaven is the one who will suffer. Okay? So you suffer on this earth in the name of worshiping God, so that when you die, you go to heaven and enjoy it. But we see those who brought these messages doing more things that give them comfort and convenience.
So are you saying heaven is what we are enjoying right now?
So if you believe, I want to say that there are false messages that are meant to destroy the fabric of African traditional practices. Okay? They are not there. These are non-existent. Okay? I believe there are other planets, okay, that you and I or you and me do not qualify to go and exist there. Okay? Unless we die, then our soul can travel to the next planet to exist there. Okay? But to say that when you die, there is a place that you go and live there and you enjoy. There are cars, there are gold. Now, when you die, this body is buried on this earth. So which one are you going to use to drive your cars?
Your soul will go there.
Your soul, which is spirit, now driving cars. Your soul as a spirit will now go there and be driving
so
cars.
You don't believe that there's heaven?
There's no heaven. Heaven, that's what I'm saying. Even if there is heaven, it's another planet for a certain specific God creation who are living there. But not for you and I in this our physical body that when we die, we'll go there. Are you getting it? So we believe that when you die,
there's an afterlife.
There is a place called Asamando. There is a place called Chinchina that you go there and exist. It's another planet. Okay? Now you go there and also be there and live a different kind of life until you reincarnate back to this earth. Okay?
So you don't believe that there will be judgment after death?
Here there is already judgment. Here. We believe in direct judgment. Okay? So that's why let me just even use the accounts. Our forefathers believe in Sasa. Okay? If you kill somebody, they believe and know that if you don't appease the soul of that person, you go through punishment. That's why if you use a car, okay, and knock somebody and kill the person, in our tradition, there is a traditional spiritual processes that you go through to appease that soul for let's say out of no fault of yours, okay, causing that particular soul to die, or to exit from the body in which it was in to conduct activities on this earth. So there are certain things that our forefathers already have prepared, certain spiritual rituals, okay, and procedures that when you conduct them, you will have to perform them for that sin, okay, to be forgiven. But if you don't do it, they trust and know that you go through hell. So you are on this earth, okay? We know and believe and trust that you do not have to commit certain atrocities against your fellow being. Because if you do, you have the punishment on this earth. The Christians and other religions has postponed this punishment to another planet. So somebody misbehave and think that you will get the punishment elsewhere. But we feared God, okay? And we knew that if you did something bad to your fellow person, you immediately have to seek for forgiveness so
Okay.
that you have a good life to live. Other than that, you'll be punished. And it used to exist.
Okay.
Yes.
So, another one. The other religions believe that the African traditional practitioners are into bloody rituals instead of having faith. They believe in bloody rituals instead of faith.
Yeah. Well, I must also bring this clarification to bear that African traditional practices is more of spirituality than religion, because we believe and we know that religion, you are kept in a box, okay, and the culture of the Christianity is that you are supposed to follow some dogmas, okay. Do not question why this is this. If you question why somebody said this, then you are evil, okay. So African traditional practitioners or practices, okay, makes it so open, okay, for everybody to kind of engage in certain spiritual practices that will inure to your benefit, okay. So when they say we believe in bloody, we do bloody rituals to say that we kill animals, okay, I want to ask a question. Assuming that I am a herbalist, okay, and you and me know that there are bad people on this earth, okay, there are bad and negative forces on this earth, okay. So if you have a bad or an evil relative, okay, who has sought the assistance of an evil force to kill you, and then you come to me, okay, and I have to save your soul, I have to save you from dying, do I have to kill another human being to save your life? No. So what we do is to use the animal, okay, to substitute your life, okay, and for that evil force to go away so that you can have your life to live on this earth. Are you getting it? So, secondly, the blood of these animals, okay, are energies. So energetically, they are also used to cleanse certain negativities that through your own making, you have invited those negativities to yourself, or somebody is directing those negativities to you. So the gods do not eat the blood, or they do not drink the blood, okay? They use the blood to cleanse these negativities and ward off these negativities in order for you to have your life, in order for the community to have peace, and the community to move away from some difficulties that can occur to the community and its people. So these prayers are offered to cleanse and ward off these negativities from the community and from the individuals. It's not as if we just enjoy.
But do you believe in fate?
Well, that's why I'm saying that African traditional practices, we are more spiritual. Okay. So if you say faith, faith says that, okay, so trust in something. Okay. Whether tomorrow that thing, you will get it or not, you just trust that. Okay. Then the spiritual person says that, okay, I've planted a seed. For the seed to grow, I have to water the seed. Okay. Instead of having planted a seed, you kneel down by the seed and always be praying that God will bring miracle for the seed to germinate. Are you getting it? Spirituality is not like that. Spirituality accept that God has already given you whatever it will take you to achieve what you are looking for. So you now have to use nature and God's creation, okay, to kind of create what you want to come into existence. Being a human being means that the word being means to come into existence. So you are a human being because you are capable, or you have that capacity, or God has given you the necessary weapons, okay, that you can use to create whatever you want. So why now go and kneel down before the same God, asking for something that he has already given you? That's what religion is, different from spirituality. So the blood of these animals are used, okay, as part of our prayers, okay, to these intermediaries to ward off negativity, sickness, calamities that may occur in the community and to the individuals. Are you getting it?
Okay.
To cleanse those and wash away those negativities away. So that's how come we use animals, okay? It is not for the enjoyment of it.
But you do not kill. You do not kill human beings for
No.
your sacrifices.
Any person who kill human being for whatever you want, okay, then you are just, if there's any other word more than demonic and evil, okay, then you are more than that.
So those juju men, people that we call juju men, that we go spiritualists, that we go, that they tell you that bring this person. I want the part of this person.
Those people
Are they not African traditional practitioners?
Those people are not African traditional
Who are
practitioners. They are different people who have acquired some powers, okay, and they kill human beings to get something. Because in for the African traditional practitioner, you pray for your family, you pray for the sources of individuals. You ask God, okay, to let us live in harmony. We farm, we pray that whatever we have sown and the efforts we are putting into it should yield bumper harvest or yield fruit for us. So, and then we even pray more for children, okay, and that will take over us. So why will you kill another human being for something?
So
for what?
I want this
So I just
clarification.
want to clarify that for real or pure African traditional practice, okay, we do not use human beings, okay, to sacrifice to our gods or ancestors. Those who do that, okay, are just people that destroy the African traditional practices, but they are not African traditional practices.
So I want to ask, are you a spiritualist?
I am.
So we call these people also as spiritualists because they perform spiritual activities.
That's why ours is African traditional.
So yours
Practices.
is different from, they
Yes.
are spiritualists,
Like,
but not an
you
African
see-
traditional
you see,
practitioners.
Those people, you cannot go to Antoinian and sacrifice a human being to Antoinian.
So Antonyama belongs to the African traditional
Yes,
practitioner.
it's a god of the Ashantis, okay, that they pray and ask that God to guide them.
What of
okay.
a priest or comfort? Is he also an African
The
traditional?
Okomfo, depending on the Okomfo, is the eye of the God, is the mouthpiece of the God. That's why I'm saying that what you see in the movies, okay, are just deliberate acts that are meant to destroy the sanity, okay, or the integrity of the African traditional practice. Let me clarify that what we are discussing is African traditional religion, or if you want, for the purpose of your understanding. That's why I'm saying that the African traditional religion, we do not use human being, okay, to do anything. This I can bet you that any real African traditional practitioner who uses the intermediary gods like rivers that the ancestors serve, you can't kill a human being. We don't accept human beings. So if you go to anybody that says that, I know what you are saying, okay? I know people say when you go, there are other spiritualists. We are all spiritualists, but it depends what you use your spirituality to do. And then spirituality too, we have positive ones and we have the negative ones. Are you getting it? We have those who are powerful and have gained notoriety for being powerful, meaning that they use their own for negative things. In my family, where in Mirugo, there's no family house, okay, that kill a human being as sacrifice. To even make this more pronounced, it can take them 5 years, 6 years, or 10 years, and they have not even killed a cow. Because cow is seen as a human being. Unless on rare occasions where there is a need for you to kill a cow. Other than that, before now, it's difficult for you to kill a cow as for prayers. But these days, even, let's say dog, even those days, to kill a dog, it would have taken you 1 or 2 years before you do that. But these same modern people now kill dogs who say they are Christians. They kill dogs for mere enjoyment. Okay, you go to market and they buy the dogs, kill them, buy
But in your town, there's something like there's even a dog market.
Yes,
in
that's
your
what I'm
region.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Before now, they don't even go to the market to buy dog. You go to the next household.
And then those people are not Christians only. Traditional people are part.
They go to the next neighbor, okay, and pick a puppy, okay, and then wear the puppy over 2 years before they will now even use their dog to do the prayer. But today, that we say we are even modern in Ghana, and we have other religion, they rather even kill it for purpose of enjoyment. Are you getting the point I'm making?
So what I want to understand is that, or what you are saying is that we have spiritualists that are bad.
Yes.
And we have the good ones.
Yes, we have.
But in Ghana, the African traditional practitioner do not perform bad practices.
No,
like killing people.
No. Every religion is meant for good. Every religion, every practices is the original purpose of that religion and practices is for good. It's for the benefit of the people and the community.
So those people are just spiritualists and not traditional practitioners.
The traditional practitioners, okay, are spiritualists. They are spiritual people. That's why I'm saying that in Africa or Ghana, for that matter, we practice spirituality. Are you getting it?
So where then do we classify those people? That ask for blood.
Ask for spiritual.
Human blood.
Every religion, there's an aspect of spirituality. Are you getting the point I'm making? But for Africa traditional religion or practice, we deal solely in spirituality. Other people have what they call religion. That the religion is, you have to do this and you don't question it. Okay? You do as being ordered. In the Bible, you cannot amend the Bible. Whatever is in the Quran, whatever is in the Bible, you cannot question it. You cannot amend it. You have to follow it as it is. Are you getting it? And then you go somewhere. Let's say those people have founders. Okay? The founder said this, and you have to do that. But with African traditional spirituality, everybody has a spiritual form. Okay? Or a deity or a god in his or her house that you worship. If I come to you, it's because I lack something that I come to you. Other than that, I have my own spiritual deities and spirit that I worship. Are you getting it?
This is getting more interesting. Because
Yes.
I want a place where I can classify those people. Do you know?
No,
Is it 2018 or is it 20? I've forgotten the year. A kid was, a 10-year boy was killed in Kaswa by some two boys. And then
but my sister.
they said
my
a
sister,
spiritualist
my
said they
sister.
should bring the parts of the boy
Yes, that's
for
that's,
money rituals.
that is why
So who performed those rituals?
That's why I'm saying that being a spiritualist does not necessarily mean you're an African traditional practitioner.
So that's why I want there to be a clarification. There are spiritualists and there are African traditional practitioners.
No, that's why I'm saying that African traditional practitioners are themselves spiritualists. Okay? But I'm saying that what we practice, the real African traditional practice, the real people who worship ancestors and the gods of their ancestors, we do not accept human being sacrifices. Our gods and our ancestors do not accept what we call human sacrifice. We
Okay,
don't.
so what's
So
Naba?
if there is somebody, okay, who call himself a spiritualist and accept human being sacrifices, that person is on his own.
Okay, so
Yes,
I think what Naba
that
want to
person
clarify
has-
is that we have spiritualists that have evil intentions. They are not African traditional practitioners. They have evil mindset and they are not African traditional practitioners. They are spiritualists who have evil intentions, and that is not part of their practices, right?
Yes. Because over time, there is nowhere let's say we are in Kumasi, there's nowhere the Asantehene whom will accept or allow his African traditional practitioners, the priests that are the eyes of the gods, okay, to kill human beings as a way of worshiping the gods or the ancestors.
I don't want to bring controversies, but do you know at first, when a king dies,
They are not. It's not true.
It's a misconception.
They
Because
only
what
use
we
it.
heard
It's not
is that
true.
when a king dies
It's not
or when a
true.
chief dies,
It's not true.
they cut people's head
It's
and
not
put
true.
inside a coffin.
It's not true.
Really?
They are myths that were used to scare people.
Really?
Yes. They were myths that they used to scare people.
They didn't cut head of
No,
people.
No, they don't do that. They don't do that. They are myths. Yes.
It is believed that the African traditional
So
practitioners.
please, let me establish this point that people,
Okay.
whether pastors, we hear of malams, we hear of pastors that kill human beings in order to fortify themselves. You cannot, Islam will never accept the sacrifice of human being. Okay, so if there is a malam who kills a human being, okay, just on the assumption that the person is a malam and is a Muslim, it means that Islam, you cannot kind of throw that fallacy of hasty generalization. You understand? It's a fallacy of hasty generalization to say that because you caught somebody who kind of describe himself as a fetish priest and kill human beings, and for that matter, that person represents African traditional the belief and practices of African traditional practices. It's not true.
Okay.
Those people are on their own.
Okay.
They are evil, and their works must be condemned in no uncertain terms.
Okay.
African traditional belief or practices are used to promote the progress and success of the community and the people. And then the worst that they do, that maybe I'm saying words because you don't like it, okay, is that they use animals to do their prayers. Anybody who kills another person to get something, that person is evil. And you cannot even associate that person to any religion.
It is believed that the African traditional practitioners, you are intolerant and you are judgmental. Let's take the case that someone curses. Through they use maybe a shrine, a god's water body that they believe that there's a spirit inside to curse. And the person that they curse really dies. Is that not killing?
Well, you see, with our practice, okay, we are very disciplined. Very, very disciplined. And this is one of the things that people run away from African traditional practice. Okay?
You are intolerant.
It's not that we are... to use the word intolerant is not the best. The best word is that we are disciplined. Okay? So, if this water bottle is for me,
let me drink mine.
if it is for me, then you steal it. Okay? Know that if we invoke the gods to look for the one who stole this bottle of water in this room, and you deny, the gods will deal with you.
So you see.
Yes, because it's why would you steal in the first place? You have self-induced your killing. It's not that from the start, the God just kill you. You have been given the opportunity to kind of redeem yourself by saying, yes, I stole the thing. But you deny. So if you deny, we want the truth. We want the truth.
You are intolerant.
What is intolerance here? Why did you steal in the first place? That is why Ghana, we are suffering. That is why our leaders are taking advantage of us, okay, of our system. And and then steal and loot. Okay, I want to put this on record that today, this election that we are going to conduct, okay, anybody who wins, okay, the ministers and the president, all the government's, what do I say, practitioners or our leaders, they should swear. They should swear by our gods, a particular god, okay, that if they spend 1 cedi of the public money on their personal activities, okay, they should die.
But they do swear.
They don't swear to our gods.
They use the Bible.
They use the Bible. With the Bible.
Okay, so it's what they believe in. They believe in the Bible. They believe in God. They believe in Bible. And then some too might believe in the Quran. There's a Muslim representative.
A democratic system.
There's a Muslim representative and there's a Christian
All
representative.
of them,
So why don't a traditional person go and
that's what I'm saying.
be
this is the politics. They are trying to edge out the African traditional practices. The question
your
ask,
people are not trying to be in politics.
The
if they try
ask,
to go to politics, they'll give them that platform.
The question you ask is that we are intolerant. That's why I'm saying that the word is discipline. Okay.
Okay.
That is corruption have eaten into the fabric of this economy because these people swear by the Bible and the Quran.
So you mean the Bible?
So this Bible and Quran
do not act.
Do not act. I don't have to say they don't act, but you know.
I don't know.
You know because you know the level of corruption that is in Ghana. Okay, and you know how these our leaders live in affluence. Okay, affluence to the extent that they neglect.
What you're also doing is politics.
They neglect the poor people. That's why I'm saying that if they swore by the Quran and the Bible that they are not going to steal our money and resources,
they should give them that opportunity
just after they are finished swearing, they start, some of them, let's bring this into the discussion. Some or most of them go back to steal and loot our resources after swearing, and nothing happens to them. Yet, once again, they will face the consequences of their sins when they go to heaven. Okay? So, I am saying that if they knew, the people, politicians, and our leaders who drafted the constitution and whatever they used to swear, okay, they knew how powerful, okay, our gods are. And they wanted a comfortable zone.
Your own is quick action.
They wanted a comfortable zone where they can swear under that pretext that they won't do whatever they say they are swearing. But they will still, because they know there's no power in that. I am betting all Ghanaians that they should just, this 7th January, the president, whoever wins, should swear by a god in Accra, okay?
Or any other region.
That if I take 1 cedi, okay, of the public money and solve my personal issue or conduct my personal or finance my personal activity,
the God should kill me.
And see whether if the person does it, we'll see whether the person will live up to a week or not.
Hey.
Once you say that you do it, you go. That is discipline. It's discipline. Every parent discipline your child doesn't make you wicked. Doesn't make you intolerant. It doesn't. So those Bible and the Quran that they swear to, with all due respect, they are not powerful. They don't do anything.
Okay, Naba, what are your last words to our viewers?
Okay, so I just want to conclude by saying that the African traditional religion, for purposes of our understanding, uh, trusts and know God. Okay, we know God through nature. We know God through our traditional and cultural practices. We also worship or serve God through nature and through our traditional practices and culture. African traditional practice do not accept human being sacrifices. Okay, they do not, because the practices is meant to advance and promote the progress and welfare of the community and the people.
Okay.
So we use them as an intermediary to worship God. And also to say that if we had continued to serve and then worship our ancestors and the gods, the governance systems, and then our leadership or our leaders in Ghana, if they swore by these ancestors and God, I bet you there will be much improved development in Ghana, because once they swear by these gods, they dare not take away even one city that belongs to this country.
Okay.
But they swear to the Bible and then the Quran and any other lesson. And for that matter, they misbehave, loot, and then steal what would have improved the ordinary person and the poor person's life.
Okay.
And so the other religions see Africa as a fertile ground to come and then expand, okay, their religion. So people who are from the foreign countries, and they are Presbyterians, they are Methodists, they are evangelical, what churches, they will come to Ghana or other African countries and then expand, okay, that religion by preaching and selling these messages to us. And because, with all due respect to my fellow Africans, somehow we are gullible, okay? So whatever they come and say, we accept it and swallow whatever they say, hook, line, and sinker. It is all because of the economic, okay, situation in Ghana and African countries. So they preach prosperity, okay, as one of the baits that they will use to get us. So every pastor and most pastors in Ghana here preach prosperity and miracle. So because of the economic situation, the African, the Ghanaian, okay, thinks that they have no other source or means to become successful than to run to these people that preach prosperity and their miracles in anticipation that they will become successful. They will get what they want to get. So take a case where in Ghana, employment is a very serious matter. So when government is recruiting police, want to recruit people into the police system or the police service, I must say, immigration, fire, and other government institutions, there is limited opportunity. So because you know there's a limited opportunity, you have to go to these people to pray, because the person will tell you that if you come, I can pray and you get the job. So they run there. Okay. So there's always that commercial bit or that economic bit. So they play that religious psychology or propaganda on these people who are seeking to better their lives. Okay. And then at the end of the day, they do not do anything for them.
Okay.
And our people too, they want to, they prefer the executive aspect of the other religion, because if Sunday you have to dress and then go to church and all that, but you know, with the African traditional practices, there's no that executive aspect of it. Okay, you have to be real, okay, in order to practice it.
Okay.
And you have to be disciplined. So ours, there's discipline, but which is something that most people are running away from, so that they can go and commit other atrocities elsewhere. With the African traditional practices, you cannot, if you are not disciplined, you can't follow it.
Okay. Thank you
So
very much.
I want all Africans to go back to their root. They just have to be disciplined. If you are disciplined.
And tell them to watch the Voice TV GH.
Yeah, they should watch Voice TV GH. We'll bring them good messages and good teachings.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you here. Yeah. And I really appreciate you. And thank you for enlightening us. I know people have gotten the message, and then I hope that in Ghana, we are going to respect the African tradition or the African traditional practices. This is the Voice TV GH. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, I'd like you to subscribe, like, comment, and share to others. I am Lassa Dorothy. Thank you.
Promotion Star Health Clinic ayaresabia onam akwaniasa so eso manfo yade a titru emane mema wo pa wo enyamba wo ye promotion Star Fertility Package nso o ye promotion enuna ohaw bia esi wa wo kwan so ovarian cyst fibroid low sperm count ne ne keka ho no odo beto adro so ahwewa kosi se wo bawo na ye fibroid mpodi a enne kakra bi na ho oto promotion inti we free fertility scan or fibroid do so a we treatment ba kuma free we free hepatitis B screening treatment ahodo a we no what it is so 30% inti entam na bra na promotion is ase every sabre ya kosi sabosom ne beko na wie ye kire sesesei ye no ma no dodo no a ye free wo promotion ibrahim inti tubrikai na hwehwe ye wo ka so a kuma se sunwane doma japekrom ye online appointment so a free ye number ye 0249 200-555. Star Health Clinic. Ayaresafie.